there's a very strangely formal grammar on this.
Yeah.
So, but as from today, well, I've got somebody that's new. Isn't that weird?
As from today.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you read it out loud like that.
Yeah, and it's for I have got another girl.
What is this?
I have got very
What is
strange.
it? What is this, Shakespeare or something?
Very, very Usted.
Yeah. Hello again and welcome to I've Got a Beatles podcast with Dave and Chris, and we're back today to talk about an album that I think we've discussed the movie, but I don't think we've ever actually done a review of the album. And this came to mind. It's the album Help.
Look how far away I put it here.
I see it so far away. We've hardly talked about it. It's way behind me too, up on my shelf there.
Yeah.
But it's the album Help. And this came about because I've been listening to it a lot over the last couple of years. And the frame I want to use for today is, why does Help not get any love? And in a way, I think Help is not only underrated, but also setting forward a lot of things that we're going to see in the Beatles' next few albums. And so I think it's more important than it gets credit for. And I'm wondering, there might be some different reasons that we can talk about why it doesn't seem to get the love, even though when I was listening to it again this morning, I think apart from maybe one, maybe two, I don't think there's a skipper on here.
Yeah. There's one.
Well, okay. Well, that's why I said maybe one, maybe two. We'll get there. But really, compared to some other albums where you might want to skip Yellow Submarine on Revolver, or ones When I'm 64 you may not like on Sergeant Pepper, or something like that. I don't think it's the same on this. I think there's a lot of really good stuff, and the songs that were not included on this album that later were singles also are good and pretty important. So what's your, when I brought this up to you, what was your initial reaction to talking about Help?
I've got some ideas on it. I just wanted to follow up what you're saying. And so Rolling Stone, right? They always have these top 500 albums lists.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first time in 2003, it was 332 on the top 500. And then ranking on 2012 was 331.
So about the same.
About the same. But then it shot up to 226 on the 2020 list.
Oh.
So maybe it's getting a little more, as time goes on, recognition. It is funky in that is it the end of the early Beatles or is it the beginning of the middle Beatles is one question. Because, and I think along with that, there's definitely some new recording techniques, some influential things here, but it would ramp way up following this album. When we start to get the sitar, we start to get Tomorrow Never Knows, we get, Sgt. Pepper.
Even Rubber Soul.
And this, I think, was recorded, still in that sort of, we're on a schedule, we got to keep it tight, we got to whip them out. So it wasn't the time and the care, particularly on one track, isn't put in as much as the later sort of studio masterworks of theirs. So I think that dings it a little in people's minds. Okay.
Good reason, yeah.
Number two, America. You Behind You is the American version.
Yeah.
America didn't even hear this full Help the way it was intended until what, the 80s?
Till 1987 when you had the CD release of the British. Yeah.
Yeah. So, which would make it a revelatory thing in the 80s, but anybody who grew up in the 60s, 70s, who were Beatles fans in America, it doesn't have the association that English and the rest of the world probably has with the album. So there's that as well. And then the third thing is, it is a soundtrack album to a movie, which is the second best of the three Beatles movies. Third, I guess third best if you include Yellow Submarine.
Third best of the five or third
of the
best of
maybe of the well, it
yeah,
depends on how you feel about Let It Be.
yeah, exactly. Is that
Um,
a real movie?
but
But like
yeah,
of the
definitely
yeah,
better than a Magical Mystery Tour,
okay, for
right?
sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's a sloppy sort of trifle of a movie. I mean, we talked about the
Yeah.
movie. We like it. It's not like a movie I hate that I haven't, and I've definitely watched it several times.
Yeah.
But it is not like Hard Day's Night, where it's
No.
like, so the songs and the soundtrack are associated with the movie. And
Mm.
I wonder if there had been no movie and an album came out called Help and maybe a different cover. We'll talk about the cover. Um, what I see with Help is a very strong through line and a very strong album lyrically focusing on troubled people
Yeah.
who need help, who need saved, who are struggling with their relationships. You've got, help with the desperation of sadness of the main song. You got in the night before, it's a guy who's got the rug pulled out from under him. You got to hide your love away, obviously,
Oh
a
yeah.
conflicted person there. I need you, a desperate loser who's been left, and on and on and on. Well, as we go through the track by track, we'll point out these lyrics. And all these lyrics, there's not a happy-go-lucky, oh, it's easy love song in the bunch, really.
No.
There's the closest you can get is I've just seen a face. And maybe Dizzy Miss Lizzy, but that
They didn't
guy's
write that
that guy's
one.
crazy.
Yeah, that's true too.
He's so crazy. Oh, I'm so in love. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So
Hmm.
yeah, so there is it's a strong album for me, connecting all of these songs together by this. It's not easy love. It's not everything's kind of a little more mentally challenging through this.
Yeah.
A little more adult too,
Ah, yeah.
than earlier work. She loves you. Yeah, yeah. Isn't that great? Well, now it's a little more troubled, a little more you like me too much, like little
Hmm.
subtle, little odd emotional and a little more deeper emotional music. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there
yeah.
to chew on. I agree with you. I think the soundtrack, so the fact that it's a soundtrack has been maybe part for the movie has been part of an issue. You compare it to the other soundtracks of Hard Day's Night, which is I think a phenomenal album too of all
Yeah.
originals and
Another one we never talked about all the way through, I think.
no, no, exactly. That whole side too is really great.
Yeah.
And then Magical Mystery Tour actually also is a pretty good album of
Yeah.
a soundtrack too. So the American having album being cut and putting the soundtrack music by Ken Thorne on there really didn't
Hmm.
help and
Yeah.
gave it kind of a weak feel and a weak impression for half of the audience who would really be interested in buying this.
Yeah.
And then I'm also curious too about its placement in the Beatles catalog because you're coming right after Beatles for Sale,
Yeah.
not very far after it, actually just a couple months after, in the beginning of '65. They recorded this starting in February, and then Rubber Soul later in the year. So
Yeah.
people usually put Beatles for Sale at the bottom, and then they put Rubber Soul at the top, at least in the top five, maybe. So I can see why this album gets overlooked a little bit and
Yeah.
seen that way. Even though, like you said, lyrically, there's a lot of advances. You have some Dylan influence that John started on Beatles for
Oh,
Sale, but
yeah.
you definitely have it here. And
Hmm.
then you've got, I think what really sparkles for me is the music on a lot of the tracks, the new instruments. They've got Fender Strats, they've got the Hohner Pianette, that electric keyboard that you hear a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
So you've got more percussion, just a lot of different instruments, I think. So musically, it to me feels like a step forward. And there's only two covers, I guess, on here, which
Yeah.
is something else that
Yeah.
whereas Beatles for Sale was slapdash recorded between tours just to get product out, and they did a lot of covers. But here you only have two, and they're not even in they're not in the soundtrack. They're just in the album side. So
Yeah.
so that's something too. But I think it's it is very strong, and even the songs in the movie, the fact that George gets one of the first songs recorded in the sessions for "I Need You," and it makes the movie
Yeah.
is a good,
And I Need You, very innovative
yes,
track.
great song,
Yeah.
great song.
So,
So it really does show a lot of advances forward, even if it gets overlooked. Yeah.
would you still consider this early
Well,
period?
yeah, that's a great, yeah, your other point was, is this still an early Beatles album? So when I was reading about it this week in different sources, people described it as a transitional album. So
Yeah.
it's transitioning from early Beatles to middle period. And I think we've already alluded to that we probably agree. I think that it
Yeah.
is because you said
Yes.
lyrically it's becoming more adult, which that started a little bit with No Reply or I'm a Loser, but it's all over this album. And then musically it's more middle period sounding, except for maybe Dizzy Miss Lizzy is the old rock and roll, but most of the other songs don't have that old rock and roll early sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it maybe transitional album, and think of other famous groups or artists who have transitional albums. Are they among the favorites? Well, I don't know. It depends. Yeah. Think of
Uh,
like David Bowie. You could probably think of a couple because he went through different phases. Is there
yeah.
like a really good transitional example from David Bowie?
Yeah, I would say maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe station to station, maybe
Hmm.
is thought of as like, well, it's in between this and the period where he goes to Germany. So maybe and there's only 6 tracks on station to station or something like that. So
Hmm.
it's not a thought of as good, but on its own, listen to it on its own, fantastic, wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, so on its own, this album is what we're how we're going to assess it as we do. The Beatles, it's a such a bunch of riches. Are you gonna put this above Sergeant Pepper? Are you gonna put this above Revolver, Rubber Soul? If you didn't
Right.
have so Abbey Road, if you didn't have so many
Yeah. Got a lot of
goddamn
contenders.
great albums,
Yeah.
it's sort of like radio. I told somebody I think the Radiohead's eighth best album is blah blah blah, and they're like, I can't believe you said that. And then I was like listed off the other album,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were like, oh well, maybe
Well,
you're
you're
right.
right. It's pretty tough.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so this is probably at best the sixth best, seventh best,
It's in the middle
somewhere
somewhere
there
for
in the
sure.
middle somewhere, but on its own, very great.
Yeah.
So let's get into the track by track here
All
because
right.
it's going to be
Well,
really amazing to talk about some of these all-time classics we've
I
never ever
know.
talked about. So
I know. Like, for example, the first one, probably the most, well, one of the most played songs
yeah.
of their output, the title song, Help. So John in his fat Elvis phase,
Yeah.
yeah, and feeling down on himself. So,
Yeah. I like
big,
that it's a down song, but the energy of it just shooting route or like a freaking rocket right
yeah,
out of the gates. And you have the simple descending lick with the arpeggios.
yeah, George's great guitar playing and the
Yeah.
electric on there.
I also think it's one of this whole album is full of great acoustic,
Yes.
especially the acoustic rhythm guitar on this one is just one of the best in the Beatles catalog, really.
It's funny you say that. I was listening when I was listening under headphones this week. I kept thinking, oh, that's John really plays a pretty good acoustic guitar in a lot of these tracks. Now,
Yeah,
some of them are not John, but most of
yeah,
them are, and it's good. It's very
yeah.
very prominent. What John? Speaking of John, he claimed in an interview later, he said, if I'd go back, he loved the song, but if I'd go back and re-record it because I think the music was wrong for it because it's too upbeat and peppy. I don't agree
I
with
don't
that.
agree with that. No, I mean
No.
he's always wrong about his own stuff. Later
It
we'll
was
talk about
rubbish.
one. Yeah, later he has one on side B that he's like, "Oh, this is garbage," and
Yeah,
I know you and I love
I
that.
know which one you're talking about.
So,
Yeah.
but another thing, very distinct. The backup vocals on this are so much George.
Yes.
I can barely hear Paul.
Yeah.
George sounds great on this.
And
And
what they're singing is
yeah,
they're echoing the it's not just ah,
yeah,
they're actually singing.
yeah.
They're
Not quite Pips.
yeah, not
We'll get a Pips one later that's like a classic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Gladys Knight and the Pips, of course.
yeah, yeah.
The Pips famously being like, I know she was, on that midnight train. Gonna leave it on that midnight
Yeah.
train. Whoop.
Yeah,
You
not
know,
quite that
it's
yet,
not quite
but
like that, but it's similar. Um,
yeah.
uh, the part where the drums drop out, a very dramatic part, I think that is great. And then the ending chord changes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, what happens at the ending there?
So there's a lot of minor key elements in the song, and
Mhm.
it ends on that help me, ooh,
Yeah,
kind of raises on a mysterious chord. It doesn't end on the one chord, the tonic, the home chord, and it leaves you kind of suspended a bit in surprise, like, well, that's a surprising ending.
yeah,
And I think it goes along with the fact that he's crying out for help and it's ambiguous. His situation is messed up. He doesn't know who he is. And so the music fits that too.
another thing about this song is, and it's been kind of it's a little bit of a personal thing. It's been kind of a very rough year for me.
Yeah.
And the song here is about somebody kind of struggling, but focusing on, I do appreciate you being around. Like the appreciation of people he can talk to
Right.
um, is a important thing, when you're going through some tough times. And here it's sort of like, I think the age of the Beatles at this point, but they're several years into this whole Beatlemania thing, and obviously getting tired, getting worn out by it. But also, John's about to, in the upcoming years, get a little divorced, a
Yeah. Yeah.
little bit
Fine.
divorced.
A little bit divorced.
And
Meet somebody
so
different.
they're obviously not just like happy-go-lucky kids anymore. So in that
No.
way, it's definitely not early Beatles. This is gonna be fun because feel like we're gonna have a debate song to song on whether or not this is early or mid
Mm.
Beatles.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and of course, what do you think, audience? Please uh,
Yes.
give us some comments, and is this an early Beatles or mid Beatles?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
So
so help, obviously a thumbs up. I mean, you can't,
yes, I
how could
mean,
you,
great.
it's,
Top
yeah.
10, 20, top 10,
Yeah.
top 20 Beatles song,
Yeah. I
probably.
would say for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
So
one that flies under the radar that I think is really great is the second one, which you get your McCartney. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to mention. On this album, Hard Day's Night is very John heavy. In fact, didn't we found that it was like only had one McCartney song. It was really John heavy.
oh
But
yeah.
this one I think is pretty balanced. You've got a good mix of John and Paul and George.
It,
So you get a nice Paul song next.
Yeah, it is balanced. I agree it's balanced. However, I've got Paul McCartney the lyrics sitting over there,
Yeah.
which I forgot to put right next to me because I want to
Yeah.
look at it later. So at some point later, I'm gonna go
Okay.
for our viewers, I'm gonna go off camera for a moment and grab that book. But there's only one song, I think you know which one it is,
Yeah.
in the lyrics. So the night before didn't make the lyrics. Paul McCartney book. So it is underrated of a Paul song.
Yes, and it's partially, I think, for both reasons, for the music and the words.
Yeah.
The music, I always imagine a lot of these songs from the movie themselves because they're out in the field playing, quote, playing these songs.
Yeah.
But the keyboard that John plays pretty well, actually,
Uh,
uh,
yes.
surprised me.
Yeah.
And the
And
progression is really interesting.
it especially pops in the mono mix. I listened
Yes.
to both the stereo on my headphones, which is difficult. It's
Yeah.
the last difficult one as far as that goes. But then the mono mix, it really pops and
Yeah.
sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So great. instrumentation, good chord progression here, very interesting harmony. George's guitar licks. Ba-do-do, ba-do-do,
Yeah.
ba-do-do-do, ba-do.
And those guitar licks, are they doubled?
Yeah, they are
It's like a
doubled,
double solo and in two octaves.
octave
So it's
apart.
simple but kind of strange sounding, but
Yeah.
very simple and very effective.
Now, is this the Pip song you're talking about when they're going on the night before? Or not quite?
No,
Nope,
not
no.
quite, but yes, it's it's got that backup vocals pretty good. And Paul sounds good
Yeah.
vocally on the track. You know, it's a it maybe Paul really convinced himself that this girl in the as far as the lyrics go. We said our goodbyes and everything was fine then, but now today I find you have changed your mind.
Ah,
So he's getting
hmm.
left. She probably thought this one night stand and nice to
Yeah.
know you, and he thought it was going to be something a little more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
simple little sort of love song there,
yeah.
but still with that complicated, you know. Like, can we go back in time? Can we replay yesterday, please?
Treat me like you did the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah. So
now,
good thumbs up on that one for sure.
now you were talking the Dylan influence,
Oh, well.
and
Could you get any more Dylan than you've got to hide your love away?
yeah,
So you've got and not only lyrically, you can talk about, I'm sure you'll mention that, but just John's voice sounds very Dylan-like, weak and tinny, or I don't know, not tinny, that's not the word, nasally a bit more. Here I stand, head in hand, a little bit scoopy
yeah,
like that. And it's got that Dylan sound.
yeah.
The 12 string acoustic sounds pretty nice on this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, very great acoustic guitar. Once
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
a very good acoustic guitar album.
Yes, and you probably loved the first appearance of a non-Beatle on a song, non-George Martin either. Johnny Scott on the flute at the ending here.
That's right at the ending. Very cool ending.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really sound very fluty
No, it
for a flute.
doesn't.
It
It doesn't.
sounds almost like I don't know. I couldn't tell, and I had
Yeah.
to look up
Like
what it
recorder or
was.
something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Better than on one of our other channels we did the California Dreamin'. It's better than the flute solo on that one. That's really out of tune. So this one's better than that.
So the lyrics here are definitely worthy of discussion. Obviously a conflicted guy, like I said. You got the that lyric feeling 2 foot small instead of two
Yeah.
foot tall, which was an error, I guess. But
Hmm.
then was like, oh, that's cool, keep it.
Yeah.
And then this thing, I can see them laugh at me, so this hiding from people laughing, and you've got to hide your love. So people have been like, oh, it's kind of ambiguous. Is he talking about the fact that he's married, but he has to keep it a secret for public
Mm.
purposes? Is it not that, but is it about Brian,
Yeah.
who was gay and obviously had to kind of hide he was gay from the public?
And this was
So,
that time period where
yeah.
the movie we reviewed, talking about John and Brian's trips and relationship, was
Yes.
at its peak here.
Yes.
Uh,
So that being not known what's behind the lyrics, but lyrics that would work for either of those scenarios also makes it work for any gay person, anyone who's ever had to hide some sort of love for any reason. So that's why I think this one really stands up to the test of time and
mm,
is a universal song because it has something that ties to many people
yeah,
for
yeah,
different reasons. So
yeah. But I like the way you put that. Do you like what the line "Gather around, all you clowns"?
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe recognizing other people are going through whatever he's going through.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
now
So
now whip out your do you own a volume pedal?
I've never owned a volume pedal. I wish when I was an inexperienced musician, I thought, oh, this must be a wah-wah pedal, but no, it's
Yeah.
not. I would like to try out a volume pedal sometime, and
Yeah.
because that's what really stands out in "I Need You," which
Yeah.
I am such a sucker for this song. I just
Oh
love
yeah.
it. I love the sound of it, the George's voice, the background vocals, the that effect.
Even the cowbell
Even
works
the
here.
cowbell, yeah. And the yeah, you don't want my loving anymore. Boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Very driving rhythm, which
Yeah.
you don't think of it as a driving rhythm, this one, because it's a wah, wah, is what sticks in your head.
Yeah.
But as you're listening to it, it's like really sort of driving pretty consistently here. And it
Yes.
says Ringo acoustic guitar progression. So he's not playing the drums, he's whapping at an acoustic guitar and then also hitting the cowbell. And then
Uh-huh.
it says John snare drum.
Oh.
So John on a snare drum,
Okay.
which I couldn't pick all of that out necessarily, but very unusual sounding kind of. I put quick clumpy percussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then I wanted to quote from Wikipedia here. Musicologist Walter Everett, recognizing the volume pedal's presence on I Need You as the most important example within the band's work, with every chord giving every chord the flautando-like sound and multiple articulations appearing throughout the song's coda. Citing a comment later made by Harrison, Everett says that I Need You was possibly one of the tracks where the pedal control was operated by Lennon.
Oh. Oh.
So while he's doing this, John's down there and we're going, wah.
Yeah. I'm just
So
imagining this in the studio here. Quite a production.
the song's about a guy who's been left.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't realize how much I need you. Please come on back. I'm lonely. You can see.
Yeah.
I
You
just can't
told
go
me.
on anymore.
Yeah, you don't want my loving anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, yeah.
yeah, I think George between "Don't Bother Me" and then I believe this would be the
Yeah.
next original.
Yeah.
It's a big improvement.
Don't bother me. Somebody bothered him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh no,
Ah,
I need you.
I
Come
need
back.
you.
Come back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so great tune.
yeah.
Then we go back to Paul on the lead vocals and the electric
Yeah.
guitar too. So you get to hear
Oh, yeah.
Paul ripping it out on another girl.
Yeah. This is a very specifically toned and very sputtery electric guitar solo.
Yeah, very sputtery.
It's sort of like comes and goes very,
Yes.
very much. There's a sort of swing beat on this one.
Yes.
Notice that? And yeah, and then this is the most strange song to me as far as there's a very strangely formal grammar on this.
Yeah.
So, but as from today, well, I've got somebody that's new. Isn't that weird?
As from today.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, when you read it out
for
loud like that.
yeah, and it's for I have got another girl.
What
For
is
I
this?
have got very
What is it?
strange.
What is this, Shakespeare or
Yeah,
something
it's
here?
very Usted.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
this is now here's the thing about this song. He's singing about this other girl. She's the sweetest girl I've ever met, basically, at one point he says. But he's saying it as a threat to
Yeah.
the girl he's with, and it's sort of like you'd better stop, I think is one of the lyrics.
Stop. And that's actually, they do stop it. Yeah, they have
Yeah,
a stop
which
time. Yeah.
very cool. But
Yeah.
and I'm no fool and I don't take what I don't want, so you better stop your messing around. So it sort of seems like she's been messing around.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's even another girl. Is he
Ooh.
making up that
It's
there's
a-
another girl as a threat?
It's a threat here.
Like, oh, and she's the best girl she'll be there through thick and thin, and she's the best.
Yeah.
Like, well, why, if that's true, why are you even with this girl? Why are you even talking to this girl in the first place? Why aren't you with the other girl? So I don't know. It's a very odd song because of that. It's kind of hard to tell if it's he's a cheater and a boastful cheater who's like threatening his girlfriend, or
Yeah.
why is he threatening her? And it seems like, you'd better stop. It seems like a
Hmm.
clue that maybe she's done with him in the first place.
Yeah. And
So
meanwhile, you've got this sort of swing beat. It's very upbeat.
yeah, very grooving.
Grooving, very. Yeah,
Dinner,
yeah.
dinner, dinner.
And that ending, no, what do you think of that ending with the where it
Oh
just sort of
yeah.
peters out with Paul
Yeah.
playing these licks?
Yeah, it's sort of like everybody else left the room and
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey guys, I'm
Hey,
still playing."
still playing here. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and that one's followed up with a Lennon song with just great
Oh,
music,
man.
wonderful song. You're gonna lose that girl. Uh,
Yes. One of my favorite mid or well, whatever period we're going to call this. And again, I think of the movie Help because they're lip syncing it in the studio, and Ringo has a cigarette in his mouth, and you see the smoke in the studio. It's very atmospheric, but they just look so good and so cool, and
yeah,
the musically really sophisticated tune with modulation and the bridge. There's a lot going on with the
yeah,
background vocals,
hmm
and John just sounds great on the vocals, singing it too.
yeah. You get piano from Paul, very good, I think. Bongos,
Yeah, you hear
and
those really prominently.
yeah, you don't
Yeah,
notice them until you notice them, and then it's all you can hear for
that's
like
right. That's
that
right.
particular listen. And then this guitar solo is a little strange. And I
Hmm.
guess that what happened was they recorded this once and it was not good. And part of why it wasn't good is because George had a new, I believe, a Fender,
Yeah, they both got John and
but
George got Strats
but
for this.
they put it on very heavy gauge strings and he was having a hard time playing it because it's very heavy gauge. So if you listen to the solo that is there with that in mind, it does seem like he's struggling just
Yeah.
very slightly to play it, but it still sounds good. It's not like a bad solo or anything, but
No, no, no. It
it
fits.
does
It
sound like
fits.
heavy gauge guitar strings. So I thought that was
Yeah.
a neat little tidbit. One writer, Jacqueline Warwick, said this is one of those Beatles advice songs.
Oh.
So
You're gonna find her gone if you
yeah,
don't. Yeah, you're
It's
gonna lose
almost
her.
it's almost like a response to another girl. If he is like, "Hey, you're cheating, you're dating a second girl, like you better take her out."
You're
And
gonna lose her. Yeah, if you're gonna
yeah,
find her gone.
yeah. But
Yeah.
what's interesting is that unlike other advice songs though, he's injecting himself into if you don't take her out tonight, I'll do it. I'll make
Right.
a point of taking her away from you.
Watch what you do.
Yeah. So is this really a song about a guy that's coveting
Mm.
his, you're going to lose that girl to me
Hmm.
because I want her? And, I think in my life, at least, I've been in a position where you see a friend, you're single, you see a friend, his girlfriend's so awesome. He's like sort of hemming and hawing about, I don't know if it's going to
Yeah.
work out. And you're like, I can't even believe you. She's so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I would kill to be with her. So it's sort of like that kind of thing happening.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a great interpretation. Yeah, it's again, what makes me think this is still early is you've got a lot of girls. It's a
Yes.
lot of girls, but it's to a different level. It's we've taken a step up in
Yeah.
our interpretation of how to deal with those girls and how we're
Yeah.
going to write musical songs about these girls. So,
Exactly. Yes,
yeah.
yes. And this is the Big Pip song I was talking about because
Oh,
it's like it's in that style too of like that sort of Motown bump.
yes, you're
Bump, bump.
gonna lose
Yeah,
that girl.
exactly. Yeah. It's got that bump, that piano sort of bump, 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 bump,
Hmm.
bump, kind of like a good Motown song. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
and they
Definitely.
were obviously influenced greatly by Motown,
Oh
as they
yeah.
should have been, because
Yeah.
great stuff.
Well, speaking of great stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I've decided this might be my favorite, or might be my number two or th maybe three under Rain.
Really?
Every time I hear Ticket to Ride, it's just such a great song in every way.
Yeah.
The voice, the chords, the words, the
Yeah.
form, the ending, the guitar, it's just got it all.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I love Ticket to it, and the sound. It
Yes.
just has such a sound.
Yeah. Well, do the birds exist
Mm,
because of songs like this, or did the birds influence?
yes.
Like where it's a blurry line,
Good question, because it's
but
got that 12 string on it.
yeah,
So
and it sounds so birds.
maybe
That
that's why I like the jangliness of it, the
yeah.
birds sound. Yeah.
And then you got John double tracked and just Paul on harmony, which works really well in this instance. And Paul's really great on the harmony vocals
Yeah.
here. And you got another disturbed guy whose woman's leaving him. Um, she
Yeah.
said that living with me was bringing her down. She better think twice. She better do right by me. So, guy has really got it
Having a
messed
lot of
up.
problems
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, not too far away from help as far as just that state of
Hmm.
mind. Like, I'm so messed up. My lady's leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what's
No,
the
very
deal
true.
though that this was a single, right?
Yes.
You always hear the Beatles, oh, the Beatles never released singles that were on the albums.
I
But
mean,
that's
because
nonsense.
and this maybe because it's the movie, because they were movie
Yeah,
songs, so I
I
guess they
guess.
were, yeah, they had to release something from the movie, like Hard Day's Night, or
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
guess I know, and it does
So
make you wonder.
it's not always the case. So,
No,
but
and what I
just a minor point of
that is a good
contention. When
point.
people say that, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, but these examples, and this is one of the examples of that.
true.
But
I'll
great
say,
first side. What a great first side, huh?
well, and I'll say another musical thing I love about Ticket to Ride is not what everybody claims. You hear the cliche, oh, this is the first heavy metal song, or this and that. It's
Yeah.
silly things. No, I like the two different feels. In the verse, you've got Ringo going, "Doom, choo, doo, 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 mm, choo," and then the middle section,
Yeah.
don't know why she's riding
Uh,
so high. That's
Yeah.
got like a straight ahead four pattern. It's just got a
Yeah.
great feel, two different feels. So it's really good arrangement.
Yeah, and the guitars sound are perfect on this.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
sloppiness at all.
Mm.
So, yeah.
So
So
yeah, what a first side. Yeah.
yeah, it's a monster first side. Very slightly weaker second side, I think,
Yeah.
but pretty good
Yeah. I
song to
mean,
start the second half for a
God,
cover.
Ringo.
Act Naturally and Ringo, and it's a great track. It really is.
Hmm.
Wonderful double tracked lead guitar. It's George also on acoustic. Ringo drums and sticks.
Yeah.
A great bass line by Paul,
Yes.
and also great backup vocals. Not overdone, not overwriting Ringo.
No.
Just kind of in the pocket. No John at all.
No.
I really, really, really like that part where, where when he goes, I can play the part so well. The music there where it's like dum da dum
Dun, dun, dun.
dum da
Yeah,
dum.
yeah, yeah.
Just like
It's
really, really is great.
well played.
Yeah.
Yeah, it this is Ringo's one of his signature tunes,
Hmm.
and for good reason. Yeah, it's country and has some twang, but it's well performed and it fits him perfectly. So a
Yeah.
great song. And they played this live too, so they gave Ringo a chance to sing, and
Yeah.
Paul on top, the vocal part, just as a nice blend.
Yeah. A great match of song and Ringo's character.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which in the movie too, as in both movies, Ringo's kind of the star of both movies,
Yeah, he is.
really.
The sad sack
And
Ringo.
he's a sad sack, all drop the camera in the water kind of guy, like
Yeah.
clumsy, sad loser, comic character. We know that Ringo himself is not
Yeah.
a clumsy, sad loser. Sometimes that gets maybe conflated a little bit. But and then once again, tracking what I was talking about with the connection of everything. What's more, a man who's
Oh
sad
yeah.
and lonely.
Yeah,
the
that's true.
the biggest fool to ever hit the big times.
Sad
Yeah.
sack.
So
Yeah.
I've always really liked Act Natural. It's probably one of the best Ringo Beatles songs. Ringo sings it very well. Perfect,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
perfect track. Now,
Oh
this
no.
one, this one,
Yeah.
what does
Rubbish.
he
Total
say?
rubbish.
Rubbish. Yeah,
Garbage. Yeah.
yeah. But underrated song, and obviously you and I like it because way back in the day,
Oh yeah.
when I was still interested in playing music, we'd get together and do some recording and mess around, and we played this.
We've got a recording. I think I have it
Yeah.
somewhere of It's Only Love. And
And we both even do the bright.
we do, but make nighttime bright. And you can when you listen to that, you can hear John sort of laughing a little bit when he's afterwards. He's like, very bright.
Yeah. Uh, maybe John's not given the full effort in because of that. Maybe he thought, "Oh, I don't like this song very much. I'm
Yeah,
not,"
a little
but
silly.
he sounds great on it. Otherwise,
Oh yeah.
George's lead is very interesting with the tremolo effect, although that is maybe a little overdone at the very end.
It's a little irritating by the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just sloppy for sure
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
But here's another example of guy in a relationship that's harder than it should be. It's only love. Why is it that it's so hard
Yeah.
loving you? And it's not right that you and I should fight every night. I thought was a good line.
Yeah.
But otherwise, lyrically, it is maybe, now that I've really dug into the lyrics and the music, it is a little
Rubbish.
bit thrown off, not as deep as, in my life or anything
Oh
like
no,
that.
no.
So,
No, it was if it's probably, it's a filler track,
yeah,
but still the melody is what stands out too to me. That I get high when I
yeah,
see you go by.
yeah,
That very kind of slinky melody.
yeah. And behind that, you got a da 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 da, and
Yes.
then even I get high, but do, 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 do. There's like some stuff going on in the background
Yeah.
that really complements, that has its own melodic kind of patterns that
Yes.
really complements what's going on in the main line.
Some good counter melody happening there.
Yes,
Yeah.
counterman.
Counter melodies.
Sid
There you go.
Doy. I take 100 words to say three.
No, that's you explained it, so that's perfect. So yeah, it's also a real short tune. It flies by. What is it? Barely 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 156.
Yeah, it's very one of the shorter tracks.
Yeah.
But
So,
that leads you into the second George tune on the album. You Like
yeah,
Me Too Much.
nice to have two George tunes. It should have kept up being one aside
Yeah.
because both of them here are pretty good. Weird opening where you have two piano players on one piano playing wobbly, sort of like
Yeah.
a lick on the
Bar
piano,
barroom piano here.
while there's an electric part being played by John with the tremolo effect, and then you can actually hear, and that's on a Hohner pianette,
Yeah, the
which,
pianette that we heard on the night before.
yeah, which is a German electronic piano, and you can the sound of the instruments tremolo being switched off after the introduction can be heard. So
Yeah.
that's funny. If you listen really closely, you can definitely hear that.
This song
Yeah.
gets a lot of trash from people. They say it's a real dud.
Yeah.
And I lyrically, I think it is pretty weak, but musically it's pretty cool actually. I like the music. I don't know what you think of the
Yeah,
words.
well, here's what do you think of, not the words, but what do you we get a George lead vocal double tracked.
Yes, right.
So how do you feel about that? Yeah,
It's got you're getting the elements of George, his style of writing, the minor key kind of lower range, though you've gone away this morning. Kind
yeah,
of, it has a George sound already happening, and the double tracking that then bursts out on the chorus to but you like me too much and I like you.
eh,
Yeah,
I
I
like
really do.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I like the music. I think
yeah.
it's For George, it's pretty like surprisingly fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got that little guitar solo and wobbly piano solo sort of call and
Ba ba ba
response.
ba ba
Doing,
ba
doing,
ba
doing,
ba.
doing,
Yeah.
doodly doo.
George Martin and John
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And then I feel like Ringo's pretty steady and kind of holds the track together.
Yeah.
So I like this song. I think I give it a thumbs up. Now, it is a kind of very convoluted. It's a guy trying to convince his woman to stop threatening to leave him,
Yeah.
right? You've tried before to leave me, but you haven't got the nerve.
Yeah.
What are you doing, guy? To walk and but then he says to and then to walk out and make me lonely, which is
This
all
is
that I
all that I
deserve.
deserve.
So what
Yeah.
have you done? You
Right.
know? So it's a very
Hmm.
strange kind of sentiment.
Yeah. Slightly clunky on
Yeah,
the words,
yeah.
but
But you know, not too bad. Now,
no. Tell
I'm
me
not
what
gonna
you
say the word dud here. All right. I'm gonna say, okay, Paul McCartney, all right, is gonna say filler.
Yes.
McCartney recalled little of its writing, later describing it as a filler track. Not one of the better songs, but they did a job. They were very handy for albums or B-sides. You need these kind of sides.
Yeah.
And that song, of course, is Tell Me What.
Yeah, that's this is a song I remember when I was young listening to this one, realizing that there's no fills in the song at all.
Yeah.
It's just like straight Ringo just like is a metronome. He just fell asleep playing the beat. There's not much happening in this song.
Yeah, that's weird percussion stuff.
Yeah,
Like
there's
the
claves or something
what's
or
the
the
guiro?
guero that
Guiro. Yeah. And that's being played by George.
yeah, like they found a
It's
box of percussion somewhere.
a percussion instrument consisting of an open-ended hollow gourd with parallel notches cut in one side, played by rubbing a stick or tines along the notches to produce a zipper-like ratchet sound.
Yes.
Definitely that zipper, zipper, zipper is what you hear.
Yeah.
There's also maracas and claves on this.
Oh, Latin percussion.
And to me, this is one of the few times where adding exotic instruments is more distracting than it's worth
Yeah.
on a Beatles track. Now, what's positive about this musically? The electric pianos, once again, really good here. Very solid here. But what's terrible to me is I think the vocal performance on this is one of the all-time phoned in
Listless.
list job. The melody isn't great too. It's
No.
like, tell me what you see. Ba, 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 ba. Open up your eyes
It's
now.
now.
And
Tell
it
me.
almost seemed like, was this on this album or on like the second album?
Yeah.
So and then the humming at the end, right? It's almost like, I mean, I'm sure it was written that way, but it's almost sounds like they so lazily humming that they don't even bother to sing the words at the end.
No.
So,
Very lazy,
um,
phoning it in
yeah.
vocal.
And then the lyrics are the guy's like, she's not into him. This girl he's singing to seems to be depressed, right?
Yeah.
Big and black, the clouds are gloomy or whatever it says. And then he's like, open up your eyes though. Tell me what you see. What you see is me.
Yeah.
So it's like I that's really weak.
Yeah.
As far
Very
as
weak.
the lyrics go, it's like, what are you even talking about?
Feels like it was
Like
written
this girl's
about,
gonna close her eyes and then imagine you and then I
ah,
see you because you're
yeah.
standing right there. Probably because he's just standing there like, hey, you like me. So
Yeah. No, this is written in about 10 minutes, it sounds like.
yeah.
No, pretty.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
We're not even going to bother singing it. We'll just hum it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah. Well,
it's not
fortunately,
it's weaker.
it,
It's not quite a dud because
no.
I do think that piano stuff, the electric piano sounds pretty good. The drums
Yeah,
sound all right, and it's all right.
it's fine.
It's
But
just
fortunately, it's redeemed by the next couple tracks.
oh
So
well,
you
yeah.
get
I
one of
mean,
our
geez.
all-time favorites here
Yeah,
too. I've just seen a face
yeah.
after
Great
that.
Paul performance.
Hmm.
The intro. Let's talk about the intro just for a second.
Oh, the acoustic guitar sounds so good. Oh,
Yeah, and it's complicated. It's
it is.
and then it goes into what they call, and maybe you can explain this to me, 2/2 cut time.
Yes. Yeah, so you're feeling instead of feeling it in 4/4 like 1 2 3 4 1, you're feeling 1 2 1 2. I've
Yeah.
just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place. You feel it in two, not in four like most songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but you don't know that from the intro because it's
No,
kind of
because it's diddly diddly diddly
yeah,
diddly.
it's guitar. Must be two or overdubbed acoustic because I always tried to play it by myself and
Yeah.
you can't play it by yourself. But intricate parts
Yeah.
and played really nicely. And then the song proper comes in. And it really is, this is like such a Paul production. I don't think anybody else sings on it. I think it's just Paul and background vocals too. It's so very Paul song. And in fact, he loved it so much, then he started playing it in Wings Over America. They brought it back. So it was
Mhm.
clearly a favorite of his.
Yeah. No bass.
No bass, no.
A little. On the first listen, I mean, obviously I've heard the song many times, but on the first listen here, I was like, "This is a little Simon and Garfunkel."
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
was reading about it, and they were talking about bluegrass. And then I thought, what it really sounds is a little bit skiffly,
Yes,
like
Everly
he's
Brothers,
going back to
Skiffle.
his skiffle roots.
Yeah, yeah,
So that makes it really awesome because it's like
yeah.
really very Paul kind of throwback. The other thing is the lyrics are great, but the thing about the singing of the lyrics is it's all sort of like a guy so excited about somebody he just met that he's singing them all in one breath.
Yeah.
It's like if we just met you, good for me, blah blah blah
It's
blah blah blah, we met, da 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 da. It's like
it is.
just
It's a lot of words to get in. And a
yeah.
lot of,
So it's like a guy just got back from the bar and he's like, "Oh my God, you won't believe who I
yeah,
met
yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
She's so great. She's just a girl for me. So he's sort of like frantic, very
Yes.
like falling." Now, I was like, does this fit my narrative of all these
Mm,
songs are disturbed people? No, but this guy is like, is he even with the girl yet?
yeah.
Is
Right,
he going to
right.
get with the girl? We don't know. He just met her.
That's true. We don't know the
He
outcome.
thinks she's the girl for him, but what does she think? We don't know any of that. So,
No, no.
and that flush of being infatuated with sometimes often doesn't work out.
True.
But it
True.
is a great thing to sing about. So it's what makes it a great song and a another timeless classic is that we've all been there. We've all just
Yes.
met somebody and been super excited at least for a few days, which is one of the greatest things in life to experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
And also, one of the greatest things to experience with Beatle fans is that ending because
Yeah.
there's all you can. Everyone starts laughing when you're performing it because you have all the nuances of Paul, not quite histrionics, but Paul doing his whoop, falling.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of Paul doing his Paul thing
Yeah.
there at the ending, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Great.
just
And of
a
course, we've talked many times about Unplugged.
oh yeah,
He
great
just does a
version.
great version of Unplugged, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, so great
Now,
tune.
another
Well,
skipper
what do we
next,
say? What do
right?
we, yeah, what
Another
do we say?
skipper,
Big
hardly
dud.
anything.
Yeah. What do you say about one of the most famous songs of all time,
Yeah.
Yesterday?
It's hard to even know where to start.
Yeah, we should do a whole episode on Song Under the Microscope Yesterday. We
Well, we
really
could do a double, triple
double
episode
episode.
on the cover versions, obviously, because
Yes.
it's one of the most covered versions of or covered songs of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the great all time I've been dumped and I'm sad song,
Hmm.
right? So now I need a place to hide away and lick my wounds, but I'm still stuck in the thoughts of how could it be that I'm where I'm at. It was
Mm.
just so close to now that I was happy and wonderful.
Yeah, that image of
Yeah.
yesterday
Yeah.
being a physical time, but also in your memory of
Yes.
what it was like to love someone. Yes, oh, things were so much better yesterday. But now, no. Now,
Yeah.
now, Chris, I don't know if you know the story about this song. I don't know if you ever heard if you've ever heard Paul
Well,
tell the
there's
story.
well, I've got the lyrics here, the L to Z of the original Paul McCartney lyrics.
Because
And of course
it's
it goes
it's
in and on.
unknown. Nobody knows the
Yes,
story.
nobody knows this story. Well, there's the obvious story. He's told it a million times. It's all over the place. In fact, Paul was on the Alan Alda podcast, which is
Hmm.
I forget the name of the Alan Alda podcast. Very good podcast, by the way. So look up Paul McCartney Alan Alda podcast. Listen to the episode. He tells the story again there of, oh, I dreamed I woke up and
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, what's this tune? And I was like, it must be something
Yeah.
somebody's played. So well, what's this tune? George, what's this tune? I'm like, I don't know. And he said, John, what's this tune? I think it's yours. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll sit and I'll play the tune. And then there's the second part of the story, which is
Uh,
always the, oh, and then, you sit there at your piano and, you play some oogly chords. And then you play and you, he mentions oogly chords, by the way, on the podcast with
oh God.
Alan Alda. Alan Alda's like, what's oogly chords? He's
What's an
like,
oogly
I
cord?
don't know. It's just something you just know.
Yeah.
Then
It's
of
so
course, it's
Paul.
like scrambled eggs,
Yeah.
and then ladies' legs, and then.
Right.
So we've all heard that 100 times, and that's here in the lyrics. But I wanted to read a part of the lyrics, which I did find fascinating, which is this. Some people find it hard to believe I was 22 when I wrote yesterday. Every time I come to the line, I'm not half the man I used to be. I remember I'd lost my mother about 8 years before that. It's been suggested to me that this is a losing my mother song,
Hmm.
to which I've always said, no, I don't believe so. But the more I think about it, why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I can see that that might have been part of the background, the unconsciousness behind the song after all. It was so strange that the loss of our mother to cancer was simply not discussed. We barely knew what cancer was, but I'm now not surprised that the whole experience surfaced in this song where sweetness competes with a pain that you can't quite describe.
Ooh, I
So
like
I
that.
thought
That's
that
really
was just really wonderful.
well said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and makes it is another reason why this is an eternal song that someone could connect to it and not even really understand why, and then it's maybe their mother died 8 years
Yeah.
ago or something like that. So
It's still a powerful song, and
yeah,
a lot of it too comes from the music, which has been
yes,
also discussed many times. But
yeah,
Paul and the probably the most famous recording of a string quartet ever
yeah,
that appears on here, and
yeah.
just Paul and the string quartet. It gives it that poignancy that really fits the lyrics so well.
I was noticing an especially brilliant little detail that I haven't heard talked about that much, but it's when that last verse starts and the one violin goes really high and has
Yes.
this high sustained note that for some reason just really tugs at the
Mm.
emotions. Yeah, so wonderful and a perfect Paul vocal performance,
Yes. Yes.
for sure.
So
So
Paul and George Martin really putting it together here.
yeah,
Now, before we move on to the last song, an
yeah,
interesting question. When I teach this Beatles class, and I'll of course talk about this song, I often play the acoustic demo of it from Anthology 2, which I see behind you.
yeah,
But
oh yeah.
yeah, so that's on there.
Little
Uh,
anthology news at the
Yes,
end
coming
coming
up.
up.
So I'll play that version, then I play the finished version, and I have probably about 50-50. Some students will say they really like the acoustic version, the demo better than the finished product because it sounds more, quote, real or
Yeah.
authentic. And I think
Hmm.
a lot of students like the just a singer and acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think about that idea?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's hard to beat the string quartet though, and
It
what I was
is.
just talking about the sustained note and everything. Yeah, so I don't know. I'd have to listen to it back to. You know what? I'll have to take your class,
Yeah, there you
and
go. There you go.
then
We'll
I
zoom
can.
you in.
I'll
Yeah.
yeah, I'll take your class, and then I'll get your answer there. So
Yeah, perfect. You can be part of the discussion.
maybe is this the last time where you feel like, oh, they gotta go out on a John Screamer, John Rocker
Yeah.
kind of tune? I don't know. I can't think off the top of my
Well,
head of the next.
no, because next album has a John Screamer with Run for Your Life.
Oh, that's right. Oh, real
Yeah,
screamer.
real screamers.
Real
That's probably the
screamer.
last.
The woman's screaming as she's
Yeah,
running away from
that's right.
John who's gonna kill her.
I know.
So,
So that's maybe the last screamer from
but
John.
this mentally unwell person in the song Dizzy Miss Lizzy from Larry Williams. Larry Williams, of course, covered with another couple songs. I think
One of your
Bad Boy.
favorites, Bad Boy, Slow Down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is maybe, I can't think of too many Beatles tracks where I've always thought that this one sounds better live.
yeah,
Lennon's vocals are great on this. The Vox organ is awesome on this, but even a little more punch is the Harrison guitar live, because the Harrison guitar, the double tracked little line here is a little basic
yeah.
and
Especially repetitive too.
repetitive, whereas when they play it live, he'll play it, but it drops out for like during the verse, and then it comes back in, and it sounds so much better in that fashion. I
Yeah,
just
it
think they
does.
overdid it, and if they probably would have had a little more time or thought, put a little more thought into this, the dumb Beatles
Yeah,
people.
what do they know? Yeah. What did George Martin know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I listened to, like, particularly like live at the Hollywood Bowl or
Hmm.
Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
They rock a little harder. It just seems to go a little harder and not be as repetitive sounding with the ding 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 ding.
Yeah, it gets
So
kind of annoying by the
yeah,
end hearing that.
yeah,
So, yeah, a good closer, very, filler, but a good closer. And John gives a good, lots of good yells, and
yeah.
his voice sounds great singing this kind of music.
I think what we should do sometime is rank John Screamers or
Yeah,
John rock and roll in the Beatles rock and roll covers or
there's
something like
some
that.
good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because this is good. I mean, it's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
performance, and he does a great job. And it's Gimme Fever and
Yeah.
Say You're Driving Me Insane, and all that kind of stuff coming with John's rock and roll classic old rock and
Yeah.
roll singing is
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So it's not a bad song at all.
No.
Not a bad cover
No.
song, and rounds out the album pretty good, and send you home happy after the depressing yesterday.
I know. True. Yeah, you couldn't end the album on Yesterday. That was a good sequencing move from George
Yeah.
Martin there. That would be a
Yeah.
real sad way to end the album.
So what would you give this? Like a 5.5 or a 6?
Yeah, maybe five and a half. No.
Yeah,
No.
it's like an 8.5,
Yeah,
maybe
I'd give it a
9.
nine probably.
9. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's give it 9s across the board. So
Yeah, I'd say so.
great
It,
stuff.
it is, and it really, like I said at the beginning of the episode, it lays out some of the features that we're going to find on the next few albums, and
Yeah.
certainly on Rubber Soul. We'll see more of this.
I did see, before we get to the cover, I did see
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to mention, which is this is Tor Midley, a music critic for the Norwegian paper Verdens Gang.
Oh, I'm a
And
diehard reader.
he ranked it number 20 on his list of the 100 best pop rock albums of all time.
Wow.
And then it was recognized as one of the most significant rock albums. I could see that, yeah, by Greenwood Encyclopedia of Rock History. And then in 2000, it was voted 119 in the third edition of Carlin Lark's book, the top all time top 1000 albums. So I think there's a thing about it where it's like the significance of it and so the significance of some of the tracks. And I think they were particularly talking about a couple of the like the George guitar playing on a
Hmm.
couple of the tracks are so influential to things that came later,
Yeah.
that including their own works that came later, that the significance of the album might outweigh the listening to it. And I don't know,
Yeah.
it all gets kind of hazy to talk about because it's like, when we're ranking stuff anyway, rankings are, what is it, reductive and arbitrary.
Yeah, well, they are. They are, and especially in the Beatles, because you have so many, as you said earlier, an embarrassment of riches. It's really hard to say what's better, how is this better or worse than other ones, but taken on its own, it
Yeah,
is a great listening experience and shows some real steps forward in
yeah.
development, songwriting, playing, production,
Hmm.
all the above. So I think it should get more acclaim or should be discussed more, let's say. I think
Yeah,
people tend to fall into the same patterns and of, oh, well, we're just going to talk about Sergeant Pepper or Abbey Road or the same albums. But there's so many things to be uncovered even in these albums that you may not think about.
yeah. Now, people know, Dave, that you teach a Beatles class and you teach music, but they might not also know that you're an expert in flag semaphore,
It's
right?
a little, you were talking about, and you've got to hide your love away, having secrets that you may not want to reveal. Well, that's one of mine, as
Yeah,
I'm an
that's right.
expert. And so, as soon as I saw that cover, I knew exactly what they were all spelling with those
Yeah,
symbols. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, what do you think about this cover?
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, because of the movie, it is definitely an awesome cover because it does, in flag semaphore, it spells help. And so that's interesting. They're dressed in the outfits that they're in the segment of the film where they're in the Alps, I believe,
Yeah, they're skiing.
and they're
Hmm.
skiing. They're wearing these silly outfits.
Yeah.
So John particularly looks dopey
With his beret
with his
too.
beret and his big fat, like parka kind of looking thing. So it's a goofy sort of album,
Yeah.
but I like it.
I like George's hat. He's got like a top
Yes.
hat or
Yeah, he's
something
got
on.
a weirder hat there.
Yeah, it works for
But
him. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's not the best. I mean, compare it to the other Beatles album covers.
I think we
Did
ranked
we
it pretty
do? Did
low.
we do it? Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I
Yeah.
think this was pretty low on the
Yeah.
I think what was the worst one? I can't remember what we said was the worst.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, but this
But
was
yeah.
not a great one, I think.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's so yeah, so that's good. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So check out Help again if you haven't listened to it in a while and
that's
give it some
right.
love. It's a great album.
Well, Dave, you'll be able to hear some of these help tracks
Oh, yes.
yet again
Yep.
on the big news of the week, which we did a full episode on this. So we'll keep it short here, but the big news of the last few weeks is that the Beatles anthology is happening again. Now, the book we already knew coming out October 14th. It's no new stuff in the book. The best news of the bunch, I believe, is the documentary series. I had been clamoring for, hey, we can't get the anthology anywhere. It's not streaming and it looks like garbage. Can you update this? Well, they have. So we're going to get, and it says now a 9-part series featuring a brand new episode 0, but then in the other part of the release it says episode 9.
Right.
So which is it? I don't know. But on Disney Plus, as per every year, there's going to be the Beatles anthology streaming November 26th. So sometime around Thanksgiving, they always want a Beatles streaming thing on Disney Plus. But because of that, they decide to do an anthology re-release, Anthology 4. So they added a fourth anthology. So you can get on CD, you can get anthologies 1, 2, and 3, which have been remastered, not remixed in any way, not no mal done to any of that. Uh, and you can get Anthology 4. So then you're like, okay, great. What's on Anthology 4? Tell me what's on Anthology 4. I can't wait. It's a lot of stuff that was in the other releases with, what is it, 13 new tracks?
Right. Mhm.
And this was the reason to do this, I think, to redo Free as a Bird, Real Love by Jeff Lynne, a
Right.
friend of the show, which we
Right.
just did a big song album career on a Jeff Lynne recording. So check that out. But anyway, so it's coming out. If you are a guy like me who doesn't have any of this on vinyl and likes it and wants it on vinyl, then great. I might buy this whole package, but it's pretty high price. So the prices of all these things and talking about this a little bit more and talking about what the tracks are going to be on Anthology 4 and how we feel about it. We covered all that in the other episode, but we have, if you want to get this on CD, if you never get, maybe you never got the anthology on CD, you want to get all four of these, you want the remastered version of it if you did get it on CD. Or if you want to get the vinyl big box set, we have links for all of those. And so if you want to hear more about that, we refer you to the other episode. But the general consensus is a little disappointment, not good. But I am excited about the anthology streaming. I'm also excited about this news about Paul McCartney documentary Man on the Run has been picked up by Amazon MGM, and it is directed by Morgan Neville, who previously directed 20 Feet from Stardom, which is a great documentary, which I watched. So what's interesting about this, the movie premiered at Telluride Festival this past weekend, but they have already announced that it will be released in select theaters and then hit Prime Video February 25th. So on February 25th, we're going to get this Man on the Run Paul McCartney documentary. That's not the big news though, Dave. The big
No.
the big news is this paragraph from this article from Hollywood Reporter. The documentary is meant to be the centerpiece in a partnership between McCartney Universal Music Group and Amazon that will unfold over the next year. It includes the release of exclusive music and merchandise drops, whatever, whatever that is, and then commentary from McCartney himself. What does that mean?
Okay.
And it will coincide with the release of the book, Wings, Story of the Band on the Run, which will be available on Amazon and Audible November 4th. We already know about that.
Yeah.
And then, he's back on tour and they go on to other stuff. But that's,
Right.
what do you think this exclusive music and merchandise drops are going to be?
I don't know. More overpriced t-shirts or more tchotchkes. Yeah, I'm not sure. I did
Yeah.
hear something about that Man on the Run. Somebody was maybe they'd seen it and they said, "Well, this isn't really for the not for us. This is really like a general for the general person who doesn't really know much about Paul. So it's like kind of like Beatles 64. It's not
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
for us. It's for the general people who don't know a lot about his history. So,
Yeah.
who knows? But anyway, yeah, I'm just wondering what are those exclusive music and commentary and
Yeah.
merchandise drops?
Yeah. So we'll see what all that is. So, but
Yeah.
I thought it was intriguing. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's interesting, maybe. And we had heard, there's been some heavy rumors that new Paul McCartney music may be on the way.
Yeah, we've been hearing this for a couple of years, so
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
ignore it until because a lot of these people are
Yeah.
saying it, and it's people who are just trying to get clicks
Yeah.
and hyping something they think they've heard from a source or
Yeah,
something.
that's
But
true. Yeah,
yeah,
we
we'll
talk more about things that have come out
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we did just do an episode on Power of the People, which you can
Yes.
get links also to that if you want to pre-order the Power of the People. There's been some people who've gotten it for free
Yep.
on YouTube and show it off. And they show the back of it, and then they take
Yeah.
out the book and they show you the book and all that.
And they
It does
listen to
look
it.
very cool.
It does. And then they
These
listen
are the
to it.
same people who trashed it,
Yeah.
which many of you in the comments, and I appreciate the comments being honest. Some of the comments are like, "You're wrong, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not putting that song on there is the worst thing that's ever happened." That's perfectly fine if you feel that way. And we were like, it should have been on there, but I just said I understood why they did more so than defending it.
Yeah. You weren't
But,
saying one way
yeah,
or the other on
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm rambling on and on.
All right.
The
Yeah.
big news being, yes, the anthology release, you can pre-order that if you want it. And yes, the Power of the People, you can pre-order that if you want it. And we've got links to all that stuff,
And go
including
listen.
links to help.
Yes, to help too. Exactly. If you want a vinyl copy of it or you want to, yeah, get the CD. But yeah, go check out our other anthology discussion where we get into the controversy a little bit and
Yes.
discuss all those details. So,
Yes.
it'll be an interesting fall. We'll have a lot to talk about, I think, for
Yep.
sure. So, well, thanks again for listening as always, and we will be back at you soon with a new episode.